Hello and welcome to Pravus Gaming and more Democracy 3 with the Holy United Kingdom. We are going into Year 8, which will be election season for us. And I'd like to think that this will be the last video in this series, but maybe it will, maybe it won't, kind of depending on how things look by the end of it. I want to get my religious population up to at least 80%. We did manage to double it up to 52. I'm not convinced we can get it much higher than that before the end of this game. But we'll see. I might just get to the end of this election, then just kind of jump forward and say, yep, it worked, I proved it worked, it was fine, and just call it there. Because I don't want the series to go on for 12 episodes instead of 8. I sort of run out of things to do and the series gets boring, so we'll probably not do that. But anyway, let's move on. Election season, things are looking pretty good for us right now. 96% of the vote is really, really good. The global economy is doing well, which as a result is leading us to a surplus of £86 billion per quarter. Not bad. DNA database. Police chiefs are requesting that they be allowed to build up a global database of everyone's DNA to assist them in fighting crime. DNA evidence allows many previously unsolvable crimes to be tracked to the perpetrators, although there are privacy concerns. So this is a really interesting issue, and I'm not really sure exactly how to feel about it. On one hand, I'm opposed to this in real life, because exactly the sort of privacy concerns thing, and also because just sort of as part of the due process, our legal system, I should say, in our legal due process, we are not obligated to provide evidence that would incriminate us in the courts. But that's exactly what this does. It says that we're going to take some DNA which we could use to incriminate you later. You know, in theory, it couldn't be abused. In theory, it would even allow us to catch a lot of criminals, but is it a perversion of our due process? And that's my main concern with it. On the other hand, technology has advanced a lot to allow us to have a DNA database like this, and maybe this would allow us to wreak justice upon a lot of other criminals that otherwise might have gotten away. Who knows? I kind of wonder if our attitudes toward this might evolve as technology and our culture evolves, but maybe it shouldn't. Maybe it shouldn't evolve. I'm not entirely sure. It's tough. Obviously, we are going to allow the database, because if you had to guess, this is going to be a conservative versus liberal policy here. And of course, we're going for conservative. This is likely to be an invaluable weapon in the fight against crime. True. For too long, criminals have been able to deny responsibility for their crimes, and with DNA evidence, we can substantially cut police time used to locate criminals, such as murderers and rapists. Unless they have nothing to hide, they cannot possibly oppose such a measure. Well, anytime, again, I've said this before, unless people have something to hide, we should be allowed to give up our personal liberties in order to gain a little security. Now, Benjamin Franklin, a very wise American patriot who helped found this country, some of you might have heard of him, he says that those who give up liberty to gain a little security will deserve neither and lose both. And that's generally been my principle when it comes to security concerns like this. Follow the due process and maintain people's rights and liberty. It's also my, frankly, it's actually my policy when I approach economics as well. Those who give up their economic liberty in order to gain some economic security will probably lose both and deserve neither and all that stuff too. Same kind of concept, applies to both. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. I actually recall seeing a comment, I believe on episode, 4, I think? This is last week when I was still on vacation. So I'm just now getting back from that. Saying some European people were watching my views, and they really enjoyed listening to my rants and stuff on Democracy 3. Which is fun, because I love ranting. I am a very politically active person. Personally, I try to be as educated as much as I can. I try to be a very rational person. And I love talking about it. I love discussing it. Frankly, politics and philosophy and religion and economics are like the only 4 things in life really worth talking about to me. So I love doing that. But it's interesting because, like they were saying, we don't always get a good perspective as far as what the United States believes and what its people actually think and feel and believe and all that stuff. And you know what? That goes both ways. A lot of Americans don't really understand what European people believe and why they think the way they do either. Beyond what like our political leaders tell us, right? Democrats are like, oh, Europe is the bee's knees. We want to be democratic socialists just like them. It's working so well in Europe. And then Republicans are like, yeah, but we're even better than Europe, so let's keep doing our own thing. And you get a lot of partisan stuff. Like, who knows, really? But a lot of Americans just hear all that noise, and they don't actually get to sit down with some Europeans and talk to them. It's really fascinating. So I'm happy to talk about the United States and our political beliefs and stuff, or at least mine. So it's interesting, it's difficult to describe, but I can at least do my best, and I love to hear about European perspectives. It's fascinating. I wish a lot more people would have these conversations. Let's move on with the game, because I'm rambling now. Not ranting, just rambling. All right, what do we want to do? Well, my religious membership is not high enough, 58%. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going up by like 3% every turn, which is like 12% a year, which is pretty good. I mean, really, when you think about it, we're taking like 12% of our tens of millions of people every year getting converted to our religion. I mean, that's pretty darn good, but still, it's not enough. I need to get more. And to that end, I think that doing faith school subsidies would help with that a lot. But that takes 50 political capital. So maybe we need to do something else instead first, and next term we try to do that. That could be good. But what would I do? Our equality is actually kind of leveling out. It's not doing as well as I would like. Wasn't there a welfare program I wanted to look at? State housing. I could improve this. That would increase quality a little bit. It also cost me like another 17 billion pounds per quarter, though. Holy crap. Still, it's an option. Alternatively, what about, child benefits? It's not as much of an effect. It's also not as expensive. Capitalists wouldn't like it, the poor would. Actually, this isn't too bad. Okay, yeah, we'll do child benefits. Basically, this is like a tax break for whenever you have children, or for however number of children you have, because, kids are expensive, man. I don't know if you've noticed this, but it is really expensive to raise a child. So we try to reduce that burden as much as we can. The United States does have something kind of like that, some child tax credits. A lot of people think it's kind of a perversion, a little bit more socialistic, kind of redistributing the wealth. And some people see it as kind of a necessity to make sure that kids are actually well taken care of and families have a better quality of life. Depends entirely on who you talk to, as with just about anything in this country. Yep, like I said, very diverse. Lots of opinions, lots of beliefs. Let's actually save all of these points, and let's move on into the next turn. A nuclear test ban treaty. The United Nations is shouldn't these be capital? The United Nations is a proper noun. Is pushing for your country to sign a treaty that would ban us from carrying out any nuclear weapons test for research purposes. Many other nations have already signed the treaty and are pressuring us to sign through diplomatic channels. Do we sign it? No need to carry out further tests. Signing the treaty will keep environmental campaigners happy and raise our popularity on the international stage, so this is a foreign relations and environmentalist thing. Do not sign the treaty. It is vital we retain the right to carry out limited testing, not tasting. Although it would be interesting to taste some nuclear material. I think that would taste very, cancerous. Very cancerous. We live in a dangerous world, and our nuclear deterrent is vital to our defense. I think this is going to make patriots happy. So foreign relations... Ooh, this is tough. These are both people I want to be happy. Huh. Sign the treaty. I'm not sure if that was exactly the best choice, but we're going to try it anyway. Yeah, the patriots are not happy about it. Environmentalists are happy about it. And actually, environmentalist membership has grown quite a bit. We're up to 54% right now. It's pretty good. It's pretty good indeed. All right, whoops, not freaking achievements. What did I say I want to do? Right. I want to go for the faith school subsidies. Religious schools can achieve good academic standards. Their supporters make a case that the government should subsidize methods of education that are proven to be effective. Critics say that religion has no place in education and that the government cannot be seen to push a particular religion on children. Well, first off, I'm not sure that the school itself is pushing a religion on children at all, because it is elective as to whether or not you go to a faith school or a public school. If parents don't like the idea of their kids going to a faith school, then they won't send them to a faith school. If they do want them to, then they'll send them there. And is that the school pushing it on children, or is that the parents pushing it on the children? So let's get our terms correct here. Now, the question is whether or not it should be illegal for the government to subsidize a particular type of faith school. So, for example, if the United States government subsidized Catholic and Protestant schools, but refused to subsidize Jewish or Muslim schools, that'd be a bit of a different question, because now you have the government endorsing a particular religion. So the fair thing to do, and because I'm a big fan of fair, either the government has to subsidize all forms of religious education schools as long as they meet the basic criteria of, yes, we have certified teachers, we teach blah, blah, blah curriculum, or subsidize none of them, one of the two. And that'll be fair. And frankly, I don't mind if people go to a religious school. I didn't go to one personally, but I know some people who did, and they're sometimes very lovely people, and sometimes they're just like everyone else, who knows? But I've heard some pretty good testaments to what religious schools can do. That said, though, is it so much about religious schools, or is it so much about just private schools in general? Because the public education system in the United States is not always that hot. Private education is pretty good. So is homeschooling. Actually, homeschooling is growing very rapidly in the United States. Which, frankly, based on what I know about homeschooling and what experience I've had with it and with people who have come from that background, it's actually shockingly good. It really is. But so are private schools, and faith schools are basically just a type of private school. So, either way, we're going to pass this. And the reason why is this glorious thing right here. Religious membership. Plus 38.37%. Holy crud, that is good. Of course, it's going to take 30 freaking turns to make it happen. But whatever. Racial tension also goes through the roof right away. Which is interesting. The game kind of lumps racial tension and religious tension all together, which in and of itself is a little bit unusual because you're basically implying that people of a certain race will believe a certain religion, and that people of another race will believe in a totally different religion, and there's not really any overlap. So, for example, that's assuming that all people from the Middle East are Muslim. Now, statistically, a lot of them will be, but there will also be a lot of Christians, there will be a lot of Jews, there will be a lot of Coptics and whatever else too. So this is kind of making a big assumption. It's not necessarily an unreasonable assumption, it's just an assumption that's kind of raising an eyebrow. Either way, education goes up, religious are very happy, and the religious themselves have a little bit more income to play with, which, hey, cool, that's great. Why not? Give more money to the religious people. That will just incentivize people to become religious, right? No, it's actually a terrible idea. Historically, that's basically what happened when the Roman Empire, or I guess at that time, would be the Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, made Christianity the official state religion of the empire. A lot of pagans converted because of the cultural and political status that comes with that, instead of being a third-rate citizen. But then you had a whole mess of pagans getting swamped into the Christian faith, and that led to a fair bit of heresy. Fair bit, if I understand my history on that correctly, which I might not. And some people will undoubtedly correct me if I am wrong. Let's move on into the next turn. We only have a couple left. Hey, alcohol abuse is gone, but we had a frickin' ministerial scandal. Gosh dang it, I can never get through an entire game without getting one of these. And there's like an achievement for going a long time without one of these. Does he have a staple in his tie? No, that's supposed to be a hole for a button, but does it look like a staple to you? It looks like a staple to me. Whatever. It might not have been anything to do with your policies or your personal conduct, but the actions of one of your staff are going to reflect on you. The religious and the conservatives are unhappy. Everyone's unhappy. That sucks. But we're still looking at getting 98% of the vote, so I'm not especially worried about it. 42 political capital to work with. It looks like across the board things are looking pretty solid for us. Lester James is still holding out on us, that cheeky devil. And so is Catherine Morgan. I won't make any lewd comments about her, because that might be perceived as sexist or oppressive in some way. But still, the point remains, we're doing pretty well on political capital generation. It just took us 7 years to get there. Ban Sunday shopping? No, we're not going to do that. It's not a good idea. You get actually a pretty massive penalty to your GDP for doing that. Well, let me think. We have 2 turns left. Religious membership has gone up to about 65%. We're getting really, really close to our target goal of at least 80% right now. That's pretty good. Egalitarian society is not doing amazing, and a big part of that will be our racial tension, because that's going up quite a bit. The fact that we have ethnic minorities, though... Well, where's racial tension? Is that it? That's it. Racial tension has gone up a lot because... the things we've done, okay. Compulsory language, education, poverty, immigration. Immigration's still too high? Are you serious? I feel like immigration's been going steadily down for a while now. We can make it better? What if I just did better border controls and increased it by like so? We just have like retina scans. Who wouldn't like some retina scans? I would. It also reduces our tourism, but we don't need tourists. We need purity. Screw it. Max it out. Immigration completely gone. We're going to have retina scans if you want to enter the UK. Very secure, by the way. No terrorists will ever get into our country because we know exactly who you are. That implies we have to have a massive database on everyone's retinas, so I guess we just kind of got that DNA tracking working for our benefit there, but still, holy crap. Okay, there's a lot of policies we have not passed this time around. I'm kind of impressed. Let's make the Patriots happy. Why not? Throw them a bone. Every street corner we shall have a Union Jack flag flying. Patriots will love it. Their membership goes way up. Racial tension goes up, but whatever. There aren't going to be any immigrants pretty soon because of our policies. Oh gosh, I'm horrible. I know it. I know it. What are you talking about? All right. Actually, my European viewers, if you want to know something that's different about the United States, we have our flag freaking everywhere. I don't know how it is in Europe. I have heard that at least in some countries, Germany especially, they don't always fly their flag because there's kind of this tense idea of nationalism in Europe and not being too nationalistic of a state, especially with Germany, like I said. But in the United States, oh yeah, we got the flag freaking everywhere. All over the dang place. People smuggling. A large number of people have been caught entering our country hidden inside cargo containers in an organized attempt at people smuggling. The criminals who masterminded the scheme have been arrested, but there is debate as to whether those people who are now on our shores should be sent back to their country of origin. Do we allow them to stay or deport them? Strong evidence that these people are desperate to flee persecution, poverty, or even death. They're desperate, it would be inhumane to deport them. Or just deport them. It would send out the wrong signal to people who want to come here illegally. We have enough of a problem with illegal economic migrants as it is. Unfortunate though it may be, the only sensible choice is to send them back. I'm going to deport them because in this game, if you are from another country, you're probably of the wrong religion, and we are going for a religious purity kind of build. Theocracy, after all. So, that's that. Ethnic minorities are down to 0.1% of the population. Yep, that's not a thing. Yep, no ethnic minorities in the UK. Absolutely not. All the English and Irish and Scottish and Welsh and whatever other little subgroup you want to talk about, they're the only ones for us. And they're all members of the Anglican Church, or the Church of England. We are looking at close to 70% of the population. We're not going to make it by our election, but we're really, really close. I have 42 points. Is there anything else I really, really want? Yes, actually, there is. For kicks and giggles. Force a political, military, religious oath. Adding religion to oaths given in a public by our officials and troops will create a greater sense of honor and security to the public, giving them the feeling that what we are going to do is the right thing to do. With righteousness on our side, nothing can go wrong, besides, the racial tension, but again, we got rid of all of them, so who cares? Now, we can have a military religious oath for our military only, for all politicians, which, frankly, all of our politicians could use a little sense of higher morality, considering our politicians are slimy scumbags, state employees, or all citizens in the UK. This is actually a religious membership thing. I forgot about this. This actually does increase religious membership. Foreign relations goes way down. Racial tension goes way up. But for the heck of it, I'm going to do it. If you live in the UK, you will swear fealty to God, to our holy divine monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, an awesome lady. I'm actually being serious. She is an awesome lady, but whatever. And to, specifically, the Church of England, my Church of England. And yeah, if you want to live here, you are required to do that. If you don't, well, I don't know. Maybe we chop off a thumb or something. That'd be fun, right? Yeah. What else should we do? We have only a few points left. I'm going to grant maternity leave. Yep. Full maternal and paternity leave. You know why? Because them religious people, they pop out them babies like crazy. Especially Roman and Irish Catholics. They pop out a lot of children. And we want the mothers and fathers to be able to spend some time at home raising their children right in proper values. As it says in the Bible, as for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. Well, how can you do that if you're not there to teach your children? So maternity leave it is. Of course, it's going to reduce our productivity a lot, which is the main reason I usually don't go for a lot of maternity leave. If I go for it at all in this game, I typically go for like half pay. But no, we're going to have a federally mandated full maternal and paternity leave for every baby that comes out. Congratulations, parents. You can thank me later. I accept gift baskets and various confectionaries and flowers. at my office. By the way, can I just point out we have a massive reserve? I mean, we've been playing a socialist and our GDP is not that good, right? If I go for a capitalist playthrough, by like this point in the game, I have a maxed out GDP, right? We're making an absolute frick ton of money. Not so much as a socialist playthrough. It's a little bit tougher, I find, to do that as socialist, but if you're willing to have some ridiculous tax rates like 50%, which somebody mentioned was just bloody daylight robbery, and you're absolutely right. As an American, I completely agree with you, but whatever. We're doing it anyway. Look how much money we got. We don't have national debt, we have national reserves. And it's almost the same size as our national debt was. Like, we completely turned things around. God blesses a righteous man. That's how I shall say things. Let's begin the election. We have a few heathens that have the audacity to vote against me. Just a few. Yep. Oh gosh, yeah, it jumped up. They will be executed, absolutely. Kicked out of this country. Goodbye. Nope, you're not allowed to stay here. You didn't sign the political, religious, military oath. So you're not allowed to stay here. Either way, 98% of the vote, pretty good. More non-voters than anything else if we break it down. No ethnic minorities, so they weren't allowed to vote. It looks to me like socialists were doing pretty darn well. We got most votes, even with the people that hate us, like capitalists. And a big part of that is because in this game, people can be part of more than one demographic, so a capitalist can still be religious and environmentalist, for example. And because I made religious and environmentalist very happy, even though his capitalist side of him hates me, he'll still vote for us because we made his other demographics happy. Let's take a look at the changes. Health, education, crime is non-existent in this country because, you know, everyone believes in God, is very God-fearing, and they don't sin anymore. We've created a perfect utopia. Violent crime, poverty, equality, the environment, technology, unemployment. Racial tension is high, but who cares? There are no ethnic minorities. What racial tension? What are you talking about? I don't know. International trade has actually gone down. The poor are doing amazingly well. We've practically doubled their income. Even the middle class is doing really well right now, but the wealthy? You know what? I'm pretty sure the wealthy would be happy to lose 1.6% of their wealth in order to give everyone else between 90 to 28% increases in their wages. Holy crap. 50% of the GDP. Usually this would be about 100 if I was doing a capitalist playthrough right now. Private healthcare has pretty much gone away. That's sort of to be expected. Tobacco usage is higher. Tourism, traffic congestion, blah, blah, blah. All in all, pretty good. The currency strength, the British pound is doing really well against the euro and the United States dollar. That's pretty nice. Wages are up by nearly 50% in the last 8 years. That is amazing. Religious symbols in schools? Ha! We're not going to ban that. Are you insane? I worked way too hard to make that happen. Religious membership. 76%! I was so damn close. 3/4 of the population. That's pretty good. Oh, screw it. Next turn. I know we're dabbling a little bit. Oh, cool. A scientific discovery. Nice. Religious... Whoa, wait. What the crap? Holy hell? What the crud happened? Oh my god, we spiked. We went from 76 to 100%. That's a 24% swing. I was off by a single turn, everybody. I was off by one turn from getting 100%. Dang, I was close. Frankly, okay, you know what? I blame the doctors. I blame the doctors, because if the doctors had not gone on strike, I wouldn't have had to spend 2 turns of political capital manipulating the labor laws in order to fix that. And we would have had our religious by the end of the election. So close. But obviously, I have created a theocracy. I'm going to call this a win anyway, even if it wasn't quite in the time frame that I was going for. But it was really, really close. Not bad. Not bad at all. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this series. I know I enjoyed playing it. It was quite fun. In the future, for Democracy 3, I'm probably going to go to some more Democracy 3 Africa, but we might want to consider adding in some modded countries. I know some people have talked about doing Greece, since that was kind of a very popular mod for this game a while back, because Greece was going through a lot of economic troubles. There are some other countries and stuff as well. I've heard some people say you should play as like the Netherlands and stuff. I'm afraid to say there are only 6 countries in this game, and that's the United Kingdom, France, Germany, United States, Canada, and Australia. We've done 4 of the 6 already. I could do Australia or France, but what would I do with them? Do just like a standard playthrough? I mean, I can't think of anything else really crazy to do. Where's my, like, achievements, awards? Haven't done everything on this this account, actually. Socialist Paradise, Police State, Survivor, Free Market Paradise, Technological Superiority. We've done God's Kingdom. World Stage, Cabinet Government, Popular Leader, Filibustering, Surveillance, Divided, Inebriated. Wow, an absolutely alcoholic society. That sounds great. Educational failure, narcotic economy. Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty crazy achievements here that I'm not sure I want to go for, but I don't know. What would I do? Let me know what you guys think. I'm kind of curious what to do next in Democracy 3. It'll probably be at least another month before I pick this up, but yeah, I'll be reading those comments with great anticipation. Thank you all for watching. Please consider hitting that like button if you did enjoy the series, leave a comment showing me your support, and of course subscribe if you want to see my future content. My name has been Pravus, and I will see you guys next time.